All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is Jan716 back here again, and today we're going to do our breakdown, or I'm going to do my breakdown of the Buffalo Bills' entire draft class. Of course, I felt like this was a good draft class. Once again, Brandon Beane and Sean McDermott and this entire Bills organization did a good job of getting players that not only are good players, but these guys fit the culture, and they most importantly they fit our scheme and what we do as an organization. So anyway, guys, let's hop straight into the breakdown of this draft class right about now. So obviously we didn't have a first round pick this year. We gave that away to Stephon Diggs, so we'll count Stephon Diggs as a draft pick. I gave that one an A. AJ Epinesa was the second pick here. No question that we got him as a rotational player. I think his first couple of years he's gonna play that Shaq Lawson type of role where he's going to be more of an edge setter that occasionally gets under the quarterback, and I think he'll do a better job. Honestly, I think he'll do a better job than Shaq. I think he's a guy that around 6'6", 280 pounds, has longer arms than Shaq Lawson. So just really his size, really just his size and just overall athleticism, you can make an argument it's even better than Shaq Lawson, at least coming out of this draft class. So I think that AJ Epinesa will. I think he it kind of reminds me a little bit of Chris Kelsey. There were some player comps to J.J. Watt and Matt Crosby. He reminds me a lot of Chris Kelsey, with Chris Kelsey's build, with what his role was when he was with the Buffalo Bills. And Chris Kelsey had a really good career here with the Buffalo Bills. I see another Chris Kelsey and A.J. Epinesa. Again, let me know below the comment section if you feel the exact same as I do. But again, his first couple of years, I think he'll play more as an edge setter. A guy that'll play great against the run, that will occasionally get after the quarterback. I think he's a guy that's going to have to mature right behind a great mentor like Mario Addison, who's one of the best pass rushers in the NFL. And then obviously Jerry Hughes too, one of the more consistent pass rushers that knows how to get to the quarterback. He's gonna be in a really good room with Eric Washington and that entire defensive line group, because they're all really good players. So AJ Epinesa, I think that this is a guy that the Buffalo Bills chose for value. Obviously, they felt like he was a first-round talent that they felt like they couldn't pass up in the second round. And yeah, I really like this pick. So I gave it a B minus overall, because I felt like they could. Again, Denzel Mims. There were some other really good players, especially in some needs that the Buffalo Bills could have went after. They didn't have to go after a backup rotational piece. But I understood why they did it. He fits what Buffalo does. He fits the culture, and I'm not gonna get mad at this pick overall. So Brandon Beane, I thought, did a good job with that. So Zach Moss was my favorite pick overall in this draft. Well, one of my favorites, because the 6th-round selection was my favorite. But Zach Moss, very solid player. I gave this one a B plus, the best available running back in my opinion in this entire board. I love the way he plays with great toughness. He's an excellent pass blocker as a running back. Could catch the ball definitely out the backfield. So he's a pretty good receiving back as well. He's a guy with with good lateral quickness, not elite lateral quickness, but he has some good lateral quickness to him, great vision. Most importantly, though, he runs after contact, rarely goes down after the first hit. And overall wise, he's just been very productive. You got to love the size at around 5'11", 220 pounds. And yeah, I think this is a good 1-2 punch combo. Again, they could have went after J.K. Dobbins, but are you really going to go after a backup running back in the second round, or are you going to get someone in the third round that also has, maybe not as good as J.K. Dobbins, but definitely does better things than J.K. Dobbins, and just as kind of productive as J.K. Dobbins was at the collegiate level, and Zach Moss. So again, I think that this is great value at the third round, and I think that he's a guy that is definitely going to be a day one contributor right away. And yeah, I think the Buffalo Bills just got a lot much better in the running game. So the 4th round was Gabriel Davis. I like Gabriel Davis a lot. He's a solid receiver. But of course, what he does well, he's great at contested catches. He's great in the red zone. He's great when, again, he has one of the best hands, in my opinion, in this entire NFL draft. Not the best route runner in the world. Has tight hips. Doesn't really, he doesn't really have that at that level, right? He's not a Jerry Jeudy, or I would even say a Michael Pittman Jr. or Van Jefferson in that area. But like I said, he's a guy that he has great height. He has some athleticism. He's not going to burn any. He's not going to burn you. But he's a possession catcher. I know that there were some player comps to Zay Jones. I think that's wrong. I don't think he was Zay Jones coming out of college. Like, Zay Jones was literally he was literally a slot receiver. Gabriel Davis is a guy that can play out wide, but you can also play him in the slot as well. But most importantly, again, those contested catches, he can go in the red zone and get the ball. So again, Gabriel Davis was okay. I like that pick as well. I gave that a B minus for the Buffalo Bills. Most importantly, they got height. They got height there and someone with long reach arms that can go after the ball. So that's why I really like that pick. Fifth round was Jake Fromm. The Buffalo Bills, they needed a backup quarterback, but most importantly, Jake Fromm was on the board for them. They felt like he was the best available player in the draft, and they took him. So I can't really knock Brandon Beane for it. Do we need a backup quarterback? I mean, you can make an argument that we do. I mean, obviously Matt Barkley's still there, but obviously when Matt Barkley had his opportunity last year, he didn't really shine under the brightest lights, especially against the Patriots and the Jets game. Maybe it was time to just get a backup quarterback in Jake Fromm, just a young backup quarterback with a lot of promise, and that's what Jake Fromm has. He's had. I mean, you want to talk about Mr. Production. He was Mr. Production, man. I mean, 35-7 as a starter. He's been to 3 straight SEC championship games. He's almost beat Bama twice. He's won the SEC East 3 times in a row. He beat Baker Mayfield in the Rose Bowl game. Again, made it to a national championship game. But most importantly, he was a very solid game manager. Did not turn over the football at the collegiate level over the last 3 years. Again, Jake Fromm, as far as a game manager, he's more of a timed passer. But most importantly, his intelligence, man. How he's able to really get things down in the film room or break things down in the film room is absolutely incredible. Again, can recognize defenses right off the top. Again, one of the most intelligent players in this draft class as well. So overall wise, as far as them valuing a backup quarterback, I definitely think that the Buffalo Bills did a good job of getting Jake Fromm. He was the best available quarterback on the board, and maybe they felt like it was time for, maybe we need a change of guard and get Jake Fromm up there. I think that he can push Josh Allen or help Josh Allen become a better quarterback in the future, and I definitely think that Jake Fromm is going to play a pivotal role as a Buffalo Bills backup quarterback. So I'm excited to see Jake Fromm play some football during the fall, if we do have a fall this year, as far as football. Sixth round, this was my favorite pick right here. That's Isaiah Hodgins. This was, in my opinion, this was the steal of the 6th round at least. I mean, there was a lot of steals in day 3, but this was a steal right here. You get a 6'4", 207-pound receiver that is a go-getter, man. This guy can go get the football. As far as contested catches, as far as being a red zone threat, as far as this guy's catch radius is absolutely amazing. I don't know why he fell this low. I actually had him as a 4th round grade, but Isaiah Hodgins fell to the 6th. This is absolutely really good value for the Buffalo Bills. I actually can make an argument that Hodgins is actually better than Gabriel Davis, because I think that Hodgins is a better route runner than Gabriel Davis, if that's actually kind of crazy. So I like Gabriel Davis. I think the things that are knocked off about him is, of course, his 40 time. He ran a 4.61, so he's not a guy that he's not going to take the top off your defense. But just like Gabriel Davis, he's more of a, he's more of a, possession / red zone threat. He's a guy that's going to go up and he's going to get the football. And again, Buffalo needs that. Buffalo needs those guys that can go up and get the football. Obviously you got Stephon Diggs, but John Brown is 5'10". Cole Beasley is 5'8". Duke Williams was the only player on this team that was 6'2" or 6'3" that can just body somebody and get the football. They need more of those guys on this roster, and I feel like the Buffalo Bills getting a guy like Isaiah Hodgins around in the 6th round, that's arguably a 4th rounder. I feel like this is extremely good value for the Buffalo Bills. Again, the Buffalo Bills receiving room is now it's a little packed now. And I definitely think it's going to be great competition and just battle to see who's going to be on the 53-man. So overall, I really like this pick right here for the Buffalo Bills. They got some extremely good value with Isaiah Hodgins. We got a kicker in Tyler Bass from Georgia Southern. Read a stat about this kid right here. Made 93% of his kicks from around 30, from 50 yards, which is really, really good. Again, don't know too much about him. Haven't watched the film on him, but obviously, as far as touchbacks goes, we were, we ranked, we were in the middle of the pack. We had around 58% of our touchbacks. Obviously, the kicking game has been questionable for the last couple of years. Even though that Stephen Hotchkiss, I think he improved his game in the 2019 season. getting a kicker here to try to make the competition better. You know, I get why they did it here. Now again, and it's the sixth round too, right? The sixth round, you're just going for the best available players. They felt like Tyler Bass was one of the best available players and one of the best kickers here, because not a lot of kickers went off the board. So they felt like Tyler Bass was one of the best kickers here. I did watch his Senior Bowl tape though; he had a good Senior Bowl. So overall, why Tyler Bass? Not mad at the selection at all. And then, of course, our last selection, and I'm forgetting the name, and I'm going to mess this up. So let me know if I got this name wrong. But I think Dan Johnson, the cornerback for Cal, I probably got that name wrong, but let me know below the comment section. Matter of fact, I'll just pen it. I'll just write it and I'll just pen it if I got for the correct name. But they got the cornerback from Cal, really, really good athleticism, great hip flexibility. Needs to work on man coverage. Needs to work on man coverage. I think that zone coverage is a strength of his, but needs to work on man coverage. Needs to work on press. Needs to get more physical at the point of attack. Matter of fact, he gets too physical. He just needs to just time that right because he holds on a lot. But yeah, this is the type of value where you're like, okay, you know what, let's just get the best available player. Let's get a player with a ton of upside here, and that's exactly what I think they did with him. So overall wise, if I had to give a grade for the Buffalo Bills, I'll give it a B. I would give it a solid B. Last year I gave this class I gave this class an A minus. I love last year's class. I give this one a B. If there were any questionable draft picks or any picks that I just would not take those players there. Jake Fromm would not be there for the 5th round for me. I would say Tyler, as much as I like that Tyler Davis selection, I would have went with in a different direction for Tyler Davis. AJ Epinesa, like I said, I love that AJ. I like the AJ Epinesa pick. I'm not gonna say I loved it, but I like the AJ Epinesa pick. But I feel like there were better available players there. Again, I understand why you did it, and I'm not gonna knock that for it. But there were better available players that they could have took there. So I just would not take AJ Epinesa. But overall wise, I gave this class a B. Again, my favorite pick is Isaiah Hodgins. I love the Zach Moss pick right there as well. And you know, so overall wise, again, yeah, it's a solid B, and I'm not gonna get mad at it at all. I think Brandon Beane, he knows exactly what he's doing. I trust Brandon Beane, and I think ultimately, hopefully this class pans out in about 2 to 3 years from now. We can look back and say that, hey, this kid's an idiot, because this class is absolutely phenomenal. So anyway, guys, that's pretty much my breakdown of this class. Let me know below the comment section. What's your grade for this class, and what were your favorite picks, and what were your worst picks? So anyway, guys, that's all I got for you guys, at least for today. It's been a long day, but the draft is finally over. This is Gen716. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.